One of the most embarrassing moments I ever had as a dive professional in the marine industry was when I was doing a public fish feed in an aquarium. We had a school group visiting of 5 and 6-year-olds, and they'd come to learn about the underwater environment. They were all crowded around in the tunnels to watch me do the shark feed, so feeding sharks, fish, and stingrays. Now, when you feed stingrays, you have to keep your hand flat and strong, just like when you feed a horse. Now, I had got distracted and I'd relaxed my hand, so I was sitting more like this, and I was wearing gloves, so Kevlar gloves. They have tiny little loops on them, okay? It protects my hand, and I'd gotten distracted. So I didn't notice the stingray that was coming up behind me. So as it came up past me, it opened its mouth, and when it does that, it creates a big suction, so everything gets sucked into it. So it opened up its mouth, created the suction for the fish to go in. Unfortunately, because my hand was nice and relaxed, guess what else went in? So stingrays have lots of small backwards facing teeth, which were perfect for my little loops on the Kevlar gloves to get stuck. That means my hand and fingers was well and truly hooked inside this poor stingray's mouth, and it's starting to swim faster. It's panicking, it's starting to shake its head, trying to dislodge this hand that was stuck in there. Unfortunately, it was also swimming in the direction of all the kids that were watching me through the viewing tunnels. Not the best look. There were kids with absolute mortified looks on their faces, some were crying. It was pretty distressing for them to watch. I felt so bad. Eventually, the stingray managed to get my hand out and I managed to get my hand free. I went back to continue the feeding, lots of waves, but there were some pretty upset kids. To hopefully make the kids feel better, I did go and talk to them afterwards and explained how it was 100% my fault. I had got distracted. There was nothing wrong with what the stingray had done. It was all on me. Now, as you can guess, my colleagues never let me live that one down. Now, people are often scared of stingrays because of their barbs on their tail. However, stingrays generally have a very calm demeanour. There are certain situations that they'll start to get stressed, and that's usually when you're coming down on top of them. This is because that's how orca hunt them. Now, if you know what you're looking for, stingrays will give you plenty of warning signs if they're not feeling comfortable. So if you see a stingray swimming around normally, their tail will be nice and flat. Now, if they're starting to feel a little bit stressed, you'll see the tail will start to just rise a little bit. That means they're not very comfortable. It's definitely a sign that maybe you should back off. Now, if they start to curl like this, that means they're getting ready to strike you. It takes a long time for them to build up to that, but you need to be aware of it. So if you ever see a bent tail, you need to back off completely. Now, the general rule around stingrays is you figure out how long they are with their body and their tail, and you do that times half again to be able to swim over the top of them. That means you'll stay safe, the stingrays won't be stressed, and everyone has a good time in the water together. Stingrays are threatened with entanglement and overfishing, so it's really important that we follow the recreational fishing limits and we make sure that any of our debris that we've got out in the ocean gets collected and brought back into land to dispose of it properly. If we do this, hopefully we'll see some more of these gorgeous creatures in our waters.